Welcome to Baseball Biz on Deck. I am Mark Carbon, and with me, of course, is the Mr. Matt Germain on yet another wonderful day. Just enjoying baseball as much as we can. And my gosh, I got to tell you, Matt, though, I'm feeling a little uh, barbecued the last few games with Kansas City here in town with the Rays. I don't know about you, but it has not been my favorite stretch of games at this point.
June, Mark. June has not been my favorite month for the Rays this year. It's good they had a buffer to built in because they're chewing through that pretty significantly so far.
Yeah, let's see. So we've already played three games. We're playing the fourth game tonight. Oh my gosh. So we've already lost the series. We've lost three games. This isn't a rubber match. I'm sorry. But so tonight, though, we've got Griffin Jacks pitching, and he's done a passable job, I guess, with it. I haven't looked at all the numbers. The good news is the Rays are actually active on the offense. Uh-oh, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Did you just see Chandler Simpson's catch?
Yes.
Yes. So he dropped one the inning prior that was right at him.
Oh yeah.
And you know he felt it was going to be the last out of the inning. So and what I like about it is Chandler bounced right back when he went to the plate, got a single, didn't look down on himself, didn't look frustrated, just carried on, and now he just made an excellent catch. So it's good to see young guys bounce back like that. It's great.
Absolutely. I always wonder about that as far as keeping a certain positive attitude. Tonight, Doug Wechter was interviewing Caminero,
Mhm.
and there is such a positive vibe coming out of that young man. And I was so glad to see that. I don't know. He's still, I believe, leading for the third base position in the All-Star game. Heard the other day he had actually slipped as far as the gap between him and the next guy. But I don't know where he is at the moment, but I think he's still leading that. I hope he stays there. Not sure when all that voting closes. Do you have that one on your list? I don't either.
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I know it's not far off and it really he should lock it down. Like he should be, one of the guys that heads there. If not the starting third baseman, then, somebody that's still there and takes
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, I guess he would probably still want to be in the home run derby, but who
We'll see.
knows?
Some people are saying no to it, so it'll be interesting. Like I think the home run leader said no.
Wow.
Uh, so it's one of those things where some believe that it changes your swing. Some believe it's like instead of having a day off, so to speak, you're getting yourself worn out. So there's a lot of downsides to actually taking part in the Derby, especially the way the format is.
Hmm.
Although I will say the format is not as demanding as it used to be. Do you remember the one that I think Bobby Abreu won? That format that they had then was crazy. Like you just basically kept going until, the sun was coming down. I think they had people coming out for breakfast and they were still going. No, it was a significant
Oh
amount of
gosh.
rounds and everything else. So at least they've lightened the load on that front.
Well, I'm glad to hear that part because yeah, I've always wondered about the All-Star game anyway, man. I mean, sometimes it's like, well, will a team allow a player to play in the World Baseball Classic?
Mhm.
Will a team want their players to play in the All-Star games? Because these are times when those players are not representing the team. They're putting that energy and potential for injury into another market that so I've understood when people certainly don't want to do some of these things. But see, so what's going on right now? It is 5-2 Rays. Here we are on Wednesday night, and the bottom of the sixth.
Yep.
Got one man on base, no outs, and Johnny DeLuca. Oh my gosh, I gotta say, Matt, I am so glad to see Johnny DeLuca back. I
Mhm.
mean, that warmed my heart. As soon as I saw him come back, I said, yes,
Yeah.
there's an energy there, and there's a double play.
And he's not holding back on the field either. Like he tried a play there the other night where he almost got to it. It bounced just short of his glove or
Yeah.
bounced out of it. But you can tell that the legs are there, the range is there, and the effort's there. So he's not holding anything back, which is great. The Rays are definitely in need of somebody that can produce at the plate as well. So hopefully he gets back into the swing of things and starts adding to their lineup because they're having a hard time, Mark, in pushing runs across the plate right now. And I don't know what the solution is. Like they have such a wide array of options, none of them being optimal. I feel like it's like you've got too many cards in the deck and you've got to
Yeah.
start, deciding what you're going with. And the Rays are kind of at a crossroads right now where they have to decide, who are we keeping through the deadline and who are we dealing through the deadline or letting go. So one of the first moves they just did towards that end is they brought some pitching on board, which I like because they need more pitching depth and pitching options. But they DFA'd Dom Keegan in order to get Chris Roycroft from the St. Louis Cardinals. Now, Roycroft is a typical Kyle Snyder project. He's 6'8", 230 pounds, or at least that's what he's listed at. And I'm sure he's 250, 260, somewhere around there. But it's interesting because his pitch mix, when you look at the Baseball Savant page, the first name it says that he's most similar to is Manuel Rodriguez,
Hmm.
was that dominant, but reliever that the Rays had who's been injured for a long time. So is there a way that they can envision him using, the similar kind of profiles to what Manuel Rodriguez was using? Now they have a different pitching angle. Manuel Rodriguez is more over the top. This guy, Roycroft, is from the side. He's at 24 degrees. So he's
Ooh.
not completely from the side, but he's like a few ticks down the clock. And so when I think of him, automatically my mind goes back to Aaron Sledgers. Do you remember he used to throw for the Rays back in 2020, 2021-ish?
So you're reaching back there a bit, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was 6'10" and a little bit taller, but
Hmm.
he had the exact same pitch mix as what Roycroft has, but he was a ground ball machine because he used his sinker really effectively. And I think the Rays will have some way for him to change the shape of his sinker so that it's more effective. And the other thing that he had, which worked to his advantage, especially against left-handed hitters, was a changeup. And Roycroft to this point hasn't used any. I think if they can inject that into his pitch mix some way, somehow, now I don't know why he hasn't used it to this point. Maybe he just can't, do it or doesn't have the feel for it. So I'll be really interested to see if they're adding something like that to his pitch repertoire. But hopefully the information they feed him helps. I don't think they would designate somebody like Dom Keegan for no reason unless they already had a deal in the works, something arranged prior to DFAing him so that he goes somewhere. But Don Keegan was consistently in the top 20 Rays prospects
Yeah.
over the last 2 or 3 years. And for some reason, his work behind the plate hasn't wowed the Rays enough for them to call him up. He looked good at the plate in spring training, but the problem is that if you're gonna not trust the catching, his next position is first base. So I envision the Rays potentially dealing him to a team that's needy of a first baseman.
Gotcha.
And some teams that come to mind are like the Mets, for example. Trying to replace a little bit of the Pete Alonso and deepen their roster a little bit without having to call up some of the guys in AAA. Maybe they like the fact that he can be catcher slash first baseman and they can use him more behind the plate. I don't know. But the Rays essentially are starting to make some changes to add depth to pitching, which is, I will take it. That's definitely something they need more of.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt about that. This week, it's looked like we haven't seen enough effectiveness as far as men getting on the bases and making it all the way in. And I mean, sometimes we'll get two guys on base, and sometimes we have one out and no outs, and then suddenly they're still there after three outs. And I don't know what it's going to take today. They're looking much better today than they have the last three games, probably before. But I don't know what it's going to take. I mean, only so much those sweaty guys swinging their t-shirts can do to, get this game going. And
You had to bring those guys up, eh?
oh yeah, got to find a little humor somewhere in this game, brother.
Yeah, but I always relate it back to the slugging, right?
Yeah,
And you look just looking at June, right? For Rays slugging. Now, league average is 400. Okay, so we'll just start there. That's the league average. So how many guys in June are above the league average? So you have Cedric Mullins at 407, Yandy Diaz 453, Junior Caminero 461, Ryan Vilade is at 581. Those are the guys with significant number of at-bats in June that are above 400. So you got four guys out of nine in the lineup. So who behind them is there? Like how far of a drop off is it? So Nick Fortes is down at 333.
Hmm.
And then you've got a couple of guys at 310 with Taylor Walls and Jonathan Aranda. So Aranda being down that low is a little bit
Yeah.
surprising. And everybody else is under 300 mark. So there's such a steep drop off right now. Doesn't mean it's going to stay lineups get cold. They do. They feed off each other and they get into that funk and it happens. Better now than in September, right? You don't want to go into a funk right before the playoffs because then that kind of tends to drag down your playoff performance. But I think the Rays must be recognizing right now that they need an injection in the lineup somewhere. Now, having said that, Jacob Melton is in AAA right now. He finally made the move up. He's looking great. I was watching the game before we talked, and he was really strong at the plate, hitting pitches that are outside of the zone and away, like reaching for it. So his timing is really good. He's just when he moves around in the outfield, you get the sense that the Rays outfield is going to improve once he arrives in terms of range. So if Cedric Mullins could slide over to right field and Johnny DeLuca go to left field once in a while, they start mixing guys around a little bit more. You get a sense that the Rays are in sometime in probably early July will be forced to make a move of either using Jake Melton in the lineup and in with the Rays or using him as trade bait.
Hmm.
So there's always those two angles to it, right? Even though they acquired him, it doesn't mean that he's the long-term option. Is there, for example, room in the budget to go get a Byron Buxton?
Ooh.
You know, I'm just throwing it out there.
No,
I'm
no, I
just,
don't know. Why
you know,
not? Yeah.
yeah. So somebody like that has more pedigree, that is more about today. If the Rays were willing to go that far, then you're really adding that fifth piece that we were talking about in the lineup, right? You've
Yep.
got Caminero, you've got Diaz, you got Aranda, you're starting to build a lineup that is fearsome because now you've got to navigate some significant bats in order to get through it. If the Rays decide to go with Melton, sure, he'll be productive, but he's not going to be, I don't think anyway, as productive as Byron
Byron
Buxton.
Buxton. Yeah.
So it
Wow.
depends on what the Rays want to do, right? Like, is there somebody else out there that we're not even talking about? There has to be options that they know. They always bring one out of the woodworks that we're not even talking about. But Buxton is out there and he is being asked about it. And I don't know how he would feel about going to play for the Rays specifically. Maybe his visions are more with the Yankees, with somebody else, and the the Twins have been known to make huge deals with New York franchises in the past. Um, so I don't know. Maybe the Dodgers again. You never know with these things.
No, you really don't. I mean, the Dodgers, God knows what they're going to do. I mean, they get more money than anybody, and they're willing to spend, 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 and defer, defer, defer. Well, it looks like they wrapped up the sixth inning here, and it looks. I don't think Kansas has put up any more on the board. I think it's still 5-2. But
Mhm.
got to keep this moving. Got to keep it going, boys and girls. So let's win this one, and we're going to face these Royals again here, like within a week. I believe we're going to Kansas City shortly, and I'm
Yes.
thinking, my gosh, they're going to be sick of us. We're going to be sick and tired of them. I mean, four
Yeah.
games here.
Are the Rays going to play better with a belly full of barbecue? That's the difference. I don't know. Are they like that could help? Maybe that's the key to to the winning streak starting again. Just get
I
some barbecue into you.
Jeez. They had Doug Wechter was there having chicken fried rice as a special just during this homestand. I'm not sure what the significance was of that, but there you go. No, I was at where was it? The Machete. I think that was when I was in Kansas City, the Machete. And it's long, long, it's like I don't know what I was on it, but it was like, no, no, no. Especially when I was looking at it, maybe the seventh inning, Matt, that's not the time to really take on some massive piece of nasty food and see how you do.
So
But
I think you would have gotten a kick out of me going to some of the restaurants in Kansas City because I was like on a streak. I went there with a bunch of military people,
Yeah.
and it was basically like, okay, we need to try all of the barbecue. Like it was one of those kind of things. Like it's not just, oh, we need to taste it. No, breakfast, barbecue. Lunch, barbecue.
Gosh.
Supper, barbecue. We were sweating so much meat by the end of that visit. It was crazy. But I think like the one place where I went to where I was like, okay, this is what I expected exactly. They're it depends. I think everybody has a different kind of sweet tooth in terms
Oh
of,
yeah.
some like the sour, some like the sweet, some like the thick, gooey, some like the charred, dry. So it depends on really what you like. But Jack's Tax, I think, has the best mix of like catering to what your best likes are.
Hmm.
So you had the options of everything was there and everything was done well. So there was no real downside to anything there. Now they don't give it away. It's definitely, you're gonna pay for it, when you're there. But I came back with I think 3 bottles from there in terms of spices and sauces. And I think I still have a little bit of one.
Oh, I
That's
love it. Yeah, that ought to
yeah.
be right by now then, eh?
Yeah, yeah, yes.
Oh gosh. When I think of barbecue and I was doing sales years ago, there was one place I went to, it was just amazing. I probably talked about this before. It was like they had an outdoor corral of barbecue grills, okay? I mean, it was large grills. And you came in there and you told them what meat you wanted, and they put it on the grill. And
Mhm.
then they weighed it, and you went in and you paid for what you bought. You could have been getting everything. You could have been getting steak, sausage, turkey, whatever you want. They did it. And then you went in there and they had free bottled beer and free beans, which was a mistake. And yeah, but it was one of the greatest barbecue experiences I had as far as just good food. What was interesting about it too, Matt, was the name of the place. It was called the Hard Eight. And that was because supposedly, oh gosh, it was one, it was one in a
I know what
dice.
you're looking at, Mark. I
Yeah.
saw the eye roll.
Oh gosh. Yeah, boys and girls, the reason I had to stop is, yeah, they're showing us the tarp soft crowd. And I thought I was amused at first, but I'm getting to the point. It's like, plumber's pants. It's probably similar on top of that too.
Some of those
So,
bellies are just glorious. They're wearing them in all their glory, and
oh
and
gosh.
and it's fun to see the shapes. Like some of them look like melted marshmallows, other ones look fit.
Oh, I love it that they don't care.
They don't. They really don't.
Oh
No.
my gosh, there it is again. Well, oh,
Yeah. So did you enjoy a Father's Day, and did you have like I personally always have ribs when it comes to
ooh,
Father's Day. I find like that's the go-to thing. But the other thing, Mark, that I'll ask is, what's the biggest steak you've ever eaten?
geez, that's been long ago.
Did you ever watch The Great Outdoors with John Candy when he's eating that, like, I can't remember if it's a 92 ouncer or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got to eat the fat at the end.
Oh gosh, yeah. There's one I can't even remember all of it because it was a crazy night in Vegas. So,
Oh, what happens in Vegas, Mark? I
that's
don't.
it, brother. What about you?
I think 48 ounces is the most I've ever eaten. And that was when I got my wings. There's a place there in Winnipeg called the Keg, which is, they do some really good steaks. I like it with the horseradish sauce. Um, and it was off the menu. It was like, okay, well, yeah, I said, I want the biggest steak you have. And they said, well, we have one that's off the menu. And all the guys were like, do it. And it was like, it became a peer pressure thing, right? Was like, okay, fine. I'll tackle it and I'll see how I do. Mark, steak is one of those things. Like, I don't know why. Steak and sushi. Like when I eat them, I can eat as much as I want. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing that stops me from eating more of it, except for my gluttony button that says, okay, that's.
Oh, I hate you.
But there's other things that I eat, like pancakes, for instance, where I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, after 3 or 4, I'm done. Like I don't need to have more. I'm good. So yeah.
No, wow. No, yeah, I tell you what, that's I'm trying to think what I really would enjoy. I mean, Father's Day didn't do much here. I mean, most of the kids are elsewhere and had such a great birthday like a week before in Kansas City with them. I
Mm,
consider that part of the Father's Day. So that was a lot of fun, a lot of fun, and it's a lifetime event. But
absolutely. Yeah, you
yeah,
did it all at once. That's great.
we're, we're getting ready to pack up and move next door. We're going to save $300 for the same exact apartment. I love it, man.
Right.
Some
Yeah.
algorithm says, no, you can't give you a discount, but we can give you the one next door. So, oh, wow. Great. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, but
So
anyway.
back to the Byron Buxton thing, Mark. The
Yeah.
last thing that I'll throw out there about it, and the reason why I'm intrigued about it for the Rays purposes, is that he's only making 15 million a year. And for somebody of his caliber,
Yeah.
right? And for his age, experience, etc., he's the perfect fit for the Rays outfield. And
Hmm.
and I don't think the Rays have to give up like their elite top level prospects, but I do think that they'll have to give up something that hurts that's MLB ready because I don't think the Twins want to throw in the towel long term. So that's why Jacob Melton comes to mind.
Yeah.
And he's signed for 3 more years. Like, so you get them for two more after this. So 2027, 2028, you still have Bayern. So at 15 million a year. So he fits within that whole transition from Yandy to whatever comes next, right? Assuming Yandy sticks around for another year or two, then you're able to enjoy them together, and then you can move on if you feel like you're ready at that point.
Well, like Cedric Mullins, I know we got him at least just for this year. And then I look out there, I see Chandler Simpson, I see Johnny DeLuca,
Mhm.
and I don't know. So you're thinking we could still keep them, we get rid of somebody else and bring in, but no.
I'm thinking Cedric Mullins, Jacob Melton, and something else for Byron Buxton.
Hmm.
That's what I'm thinking is like I don't know what that something else is. I
Yeah.
don't know how they value Jacob Melton as part of the deal, etc. So it depends on how they view each player. Cedric Mullins would get to keep them active for this year, and having Jacob Melton actually deepens their outfield for the long term, and then they get to whatever else. So in theory, it could be the 33rd overall pick that the Rays have coming up.
Yeah.
I'm just throwing something out there, like or it could be a prospect, or it could be an arm, or it could be whatever. But the Twins are one team that the Rays have dealt with quite a bit over the years. Tosh Bradley is the latest one, Joe Ryan
Yeah.
before that. So it's not like the front offices aren't talking. Uh, and I feel like the Rays have to be a little bolder in how they structure their lineup this time around if they're wanting to make a real push. And I feel like with Shane McClanahan being healthy, with Griffin Jacks being found as a viable starting option, and what they have in terms of the young pitchers coming up, Brody Hopkins and Ty Johnson, then you don't want to waste the last few good years of Yandy Diaz and Junior
No.
Caminero together and Jonathan Aranda blossoming into a strong bat. So make the most of it and go out there. And if you add Byron Buxton, my feeling is, assuming he stays healthy, which is always one of those things with Byron. Last 2 years, though, Mark, he's been good. So, I don't know how the trop would impact that or not. I think. I'm looking and searching for the Rays to make that move that strengthens their lineup. And other than moving on from Taylor Walls or other people that are in the lineup consistently that are underperforming, outside of that, that's one of the few ways that I can think of that they can improve it is by
Yeah.
adding to the field. You know,
Well, we'll see what happens. Right now, we are at what? At the top of the eighth, two outs, and the Royals have got Thomas up. Clevenger's pitching,
hmm
and he's throwing some heat. So, have you seen more that it seems like we're bringing in relief earlier in the game in this past week? I mean, it's been a need. I mean, Drew was having a little rough time. Shane was having a little bit of a rough time.
Absolutely. But that's again, that's related down to the innings pitch issues that they're going to run into.
Yeah,
And I mentioned that on Blue Sky this week. Like they can't expect all of these guys to be healthy for 150 to 180 innings.
right.
None of them did it last year. Zero. Not one, except for Drew. Drew Rasmussen, I think, was at 160s, 70 something.
Hmm.
Uh, Historic. he hasn't been. So it's one of those where the Rays know what's coming and they know that there's a train coming in terms of that. The Giants are dangling a lot of arms out there right now in terms of Robbie Ray and a couple of others. They're saying that they're not trading certain ones like Webb, but I feel like if the price was right, they probably would. I don't know that those are all options that attract the Rays, though. I get the feeling that if they're going to add money to the roster, they're probably going to want to do it in the lineup because that's where they're weakest. But at the same time, if you're going to add a pitcher, are you, what are you going to bank on and what are you looking for? Are you looking for one of those guys that can start a playoff game? If you are, that's going to cost you. You're not going to get a
Yep.
young guy to do that, right?
Yep.
So, so I'm wondering, Mark, what are your feelings on how much ownership is willing to open the vault a little bit, you know?
I think they need a win. I think they need a big win. And I'm not just talking for themselves or for the fans, but from an economic point. If they want to close this deal in Tampa for a stadium, they need to be putting the money down. And I think they realize that this is, this may not be who they are 3 years from now, but right now,
Let and with that in mind, let's say that they actually acquire Byron Buxton
okay.
and they sign Junior Caminero to an extension. If they do those two things, how does that change things in Tampa?
Well, if you're seeing more points up on the board for Tampa, then it matters a lot.
Mhm.
It gives a bit of juice. It's nobody wants to sit there and see a game 1 and 2 runs, on each side. You got to have some pop. Now, you don't like seeing 12 runs from the competition go up there and you've got 1 or 2, but you want to see some pop. Nobody wants to see just low scoring games. So, yeah, I think those two things would certainly make a big difference if it means the team is going to do it. And the team has to do better with fielding. I mean, it seems like there's just been a little bit of sloppiness going on this past week.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I don't know. Just
I think the tarps are blinding the players personally. So here's my other question related to that, Mark. What's the female equivalent to tarps off? Is
uh,
it tarps? Is it an extra tarp on, like all over their face, so they don't have to look at the tarps?
I
Is it, you know,
you've lost me on that one, brother. I got you.
yeah,
No,
I
no,
don't
yeah,
know what it
it's
is. But we have to think about it. We have to come up with one. We have to sell it to people so that they can fill the right field, outfield with women that are doing whatever it is that they want to do out there. What is that? What is that thing that would drive them to want to gather in the right field stands?
I don't know, but it's got to be something. It could be something that has less to do with the amount of clothing a person's wearing. I think we
Right,
got to find
right.
something. I mean, um,
Something more
you know,
dignified.
thank you. You know, trying to something some I don't know some special hat with sparkles on it coming off from it. That every time we get a hit, something along those lines. But you could say, well, because it's kind of sexist right now. We've got something for the men, but we don't really have something for the women. I mean, some could argue, well, you still could use this with women. I said,
And then
oh,
center field can be for everyone.
yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So there you
Yeah.
go. We can have sections for everything.
Well, as long as they don't wind up putting up there with the left field as the no fatty sign for the guys.
No, no, no. They welcome all shapes and sizes,
There you
Mark.
go. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about welcoming into something completely different. And that's going on in Boston and
Mhm.
with the soccer.
Yes.
Boston, the breweries have been drained. This was it Scotland that's there? I think they can't keep up, man. They cannot keep beer in there fast enough with all that five of drinking going from European countries. But yeah, that's something in and of
You know
itself.
why, Mark? I'm going to tell you right now
Please.
because the alcohol content in the United States is lower than what it is in Canada and in Europe. This is
Mm.
why Americans look silly when they go abroad because they have a few beers and suddenly they're like, "Whoa!" And it's because of how the alcohol content is calculated. And I can't remember exactly how it comes out, but because of what they are calculating into the percentage, it turns out that American beer is a lot weaker in terms of impact, alcohol wise, than in Canada and Europe. So what happens is that they get there and they get the same, buzz on. They need to drink a lot more. And they're able to drink a lot more. They're able to drink longer. They're able to have a bigger night basically each time that they order one. So and the World Cup is a special event. Like you're talking about, t it takes tailgating to a new level. You're starting the tailgate at 9 in the morning, and it carries on right through like the 2, 3, 4 in the morning.
Wow.
And people really dive into it when they make that commitment that they're going to go and pay, some people are paying $5,000 for a ticket, which is kind of crazy. And you know what blows my mind about it all, Mark, is sometimes you'll see two countries where the majority of their population are dirt poor, and yet the stands are full of their fans. Like I'm like, how did they afford to go there to do the trip, the hotels, like I couldn't afford it. I couldn't
Yeah.
afford to do it in Canada. To fly to Vancouver and do that, oh my goodness, that'd be crazy. So, I tip my hat to the people that are that much in love with it, that they save for years and they make a commitment to actually go and have the party and the fun. For them, it's a trip of a lifetime, and
Oh, yeah.
I tip my hat to them.
Well, let me ask you, I know in Vancouver, it was you guys playing Qatar.
Hmm.
And then also, was it that game or the one after everybody was wearing red in the stands? And it was like, wow, man, what an impression that made. Just a visual, seeing all those fans in red. And that was an amazing game. And you all defeated Qatar. And
60.
then let's see, today,
Yeah.
I think they lost to, was it Switzerland?
Yep. But it was like, here's the way I'll preface it. So the best Canadian player is Antonio Davies, and he plays for a team in Germany, and he's their best player. He's a striker, and he's vicious, but he's injured, so he hasn't played a game yet. But he is on the roster. He's going to get to play in the next game. Apparently, the
Mm.
coach just said it'll be his first game. What they've had so far, the first game, they actually kept Kyle Laren on the bench for the majority of the first game because he had been struggling up to that point. But he's like their heart and soul guy, their gritty guy, the guy that you want in the playoffs, right? Like he's the guy that gets it done. So he came on the bench late and he scored right away. I think it was like 30 seconds after he was brought on. So that started to ignite it. But Mark, I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna turn 50 this year. I have never seen soccer at this level in Canada, ever,
Mm.
ever, ever. When like my entire life, we never expected anything out of the Canadian men's soccer team. They're in the top 30 right now.
Wow.
Uh, they they have a spirit, they have skill, the footwork, the ball handling, all that stuff. Now all they're getting basically that they need to collect more of is the experience to be calm in those biggest moments. As soon as they have that, like the talent that they have on board, and like I said, they haven't played their best player, so there's a chance that they could surprise a few teams because what they have over others is the willingness to take risks. And I don't know if you caught the England game, but it is the most boring soccer that I've ever seen in my life. And it's like, oh, we don't want to make mistakes, so we're not going to do anything. And they ended up blanking against the team that they were playing. So it's a style that's different and that's enjoyable to watch. So what you saw in Qatar with the 6 goals
Yeah.
was an unleashed offense that was just relentless. It was corner after corner after corner and kick after kick after kick. It was basically like facing the peak New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox lineup
Mm.
where you never could take a break, right? So I really enjoy the World Cup for that, for the Canadian side of it. But Mark, all three hosts have made it to the next round. The
Wow.
US, Mexico, and Canada are going through. I think Canada is going to end up playing South Korea. I don't know who the US is going to end up playing, but it's a fun tournament, and it's great that that all three nations that are taking part are getting to have their fans cheer for them and
Yeah.
be a part of it. I'm glad there's no major political things that are throwing a blanket on things to this point. Hopefully that continues through the later rounds when the pressure increases on all the teams. So as long as that continues, like it's looking like a successful event overall.
Wow. Well, I was so glad to see that for you guys, but I was curious because after the loss, that meant that they would not be able to continue in Vancouver, though, correct?
Right.
Where
They have to
where
play
so where are they going
somewhere
to be
else.
going? Where's Canada?
I can't remember where they're playing. All I know is that they're playing the runner-up in Group A, and I'm pretty sure that Mexico is going to win the group.
Yep.
So that's why I'm saying South Korea looks like the team that they'll be facing.
Wow.
Mm.
As long as we're talking about other sports, I want to remind folks about the Women's Pro Baseball League, which will be starting up in August, and that's going to be in Springfield, Illinois. And also remind them that the Women's Baseball Classic, the group stage, will be in Rockford, Illinois, here in about a month. So we'll put links to that at the end of the show.
Do you know what I appreciate most about that, Mark?
Mm-mm.
It's new,
It's new.
right? So
Yeah.
what came out that last week? Toy Story 5. Five, Mark. Five. They're
Jeez.
making Scream 8, Scream 9, like I think Shrek 5 is in production. There's a yeah, we need more new. I
Oh
want
yeah. I
more.
mean, it was. I think. Yeah, I know someone who saw Scary Movie the other day, a Scary
Yes.
Movie 5 or 16 or whatever it was, and they thought maybe it was Scream, but it wasn't quite the same experience.
Like
But
what I picture is like I'll be on my hospital bed when I'm dying. I don't know what age, but it'll be like, and now playing with I don't know what actor, it doesn't really matter. In Toy Story 18,
oh, good Lord. Oh, well, people.
Avatar 24. I don't know. Like it's just getting to be crazy.
It is, brother. It is. I mean, and I blame it all on Sylvester Stallone and Rocky because he kind of set a pattern there that everybody else has decided to follow. And he's still out there playing a tough guy on some streaming thing called Tulsa King. And he's playing this rough and tough old fella.
I'm pretty sure Star Wars was the first one.
Ooh, true,
Was it
true.
Star Wars, Star Trek? I'm thinking Indiana Jones, Godfathers. I'd have to look at all the
Yeah, yeah.
like all the timings of when those movies came out to figure out which one broke the mold and said like a series of films.
I don't know when James Bond would have done, but that's,
Oh my God,
uh,
how did I forget
I don't
James
know.
Bond?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But no. Well, let's see. We are now in the top of the ninth. The score is still 5-2. Kansas City. Looks like both teams have used one of their challenges up. That
Mark's using his French. Five to do.
5-2. I know. Yeah. Yeah. See,
Sorry, I caught that.
no, no,
Like, hey, that makes
well
sense.
deserved, my friend. Well deserved.
So
That's
Brian Baker is looking good as closer, isn't he? Like
yes.
that's one place where he's been consistent overall. Or the Rays have been consistent overall is getting some good work from him. I don't know what like I'm trying to pinpoint. I should look more into this for next week, but I need to look at how he's pitching differently this year than last year because there's a an attitude shift though.
Mm.
Like the way he looks on the mound and the way he acts and the way he, you know, the confidence level that he has in what he's doing seems like it's different than what it was last year. It was almost like last year he was pitching like, "Oh, excuse me, I threw a pitch," you know? Like it felt that way. Um, so the
Mm.
confidence level or the commitment to each pitch is different than what I remember from last year. So I'd be curious to find out what they did with him over the season, the off season, or what he put in terms of work to get himself there. And I say that, and I think he just got lit up.
Oh wow. Uh,
Rojas hit one out,
oh no.
but I think it only makes it 5-4. I think.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
or 5-3 actually.
5-3. There you go.
5-3. I think it was 5-2. I could be wrong, but
I thought there was somebody on
yeah.
base.
No,
Okay,
it makes it 5-3. So
there you
come on,
go.
guys. Let's wrap this thing up. I don't want to see the bottom of the ninth.
Did you see Jock Caglione take Shane McClanahan deep?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. It's great to see Caglione do well. I just like to see him do it well somewhere else.
yeah, he's a big boy. Like you sometimes you don't know how big somebody is until you see them in a certain setting. So we've been
Yeah.
used to seeing Yandy Diaz at the plate at the Trop. You get to see how big he is. and then you see Jock come on, you're like, whoa, like that's a big boy. He's got some oomph behind that bat when it comes through.
All righty. So we're going to say they're going to win it, and I'm going to call it now.
Sounds good.
Yep. Yep. Any
I,
last words or anything you want to mention or cover?
uh, anything I want to cover. The Bowling Green Hot Rods are 51-19.
Ooh,
Dominating as much as can be. I threw out some statistics recently in terms of the number of guys that have an OPS over 800 with more than 100 at bats, this season in the minors. Rays have 15, and just 6 of them are above double A out of the
wow.
15. So it shows you some of the strength they have down in the lower parts of the minors. So all that to say that if the Rays are going to deal some guys for talent, more than likely they're going to dig into that a little bit and take away from that bunch if they're going to be making some significant trades for the playoff push. So that's all I'll throw out there. But Durham's turning things around a little tiny bit, and get out there and support your minor league teams.
Absolutely. One last thing I want to mention too is tonight the Rays, I believe they did a tip of the hat to the University of Tampa, who won their three-peat. I think I may have talked about that before, their three-peat for the NCAA Division II baseball. And St. Leo's, the women's softball team, Division II, they won theirs. And there's other folks who are celebrating. I've got to find out about it all. I'm very fortunate to get to, on an earlier episode, got to talk to Janelle and her mother, Mosheen Fernandez. It was interesting because talking about around here how softball was back in the day, and the day being back in the old 1940s. And it's exciting to hear some of that. Plus, I found an intersection where Shushu Worth actually played with some of them as well.
Mm.
And it's pretty cool. Anyway, all right, boys and girls, we're getting ready to go here. It is one. Oh, let's see. Oh, we're going to call it anyway. It's a win.
Mark, you
It's a
better be
win.
right. The
It's
people
a
are
win for the
walking out of the
Rays.
stands. Yeah,
All right. All right, Matt. Thanks again, buddy. It's always a pleasure.
not a problem. Have a good week, and we'll catch you next time.
Sounds good. We look forward to talking with you all again real soon.
Bong. And we hear the voice. The voice goes on. Yeah.
If you enjoyed this show, go ahead, like, and subscribe to Baseball Biz on Deck. You may also find Baseball Biz on Deck on YouTube, at iHeartApple, Spotify, Amazon Music, and at baseballbizondeck.com. Also, you can find Matt at matgermain.bskysocial. That's Matt at matgermain.bskysocial, or Mark at baseballbizondeck.bskysocial and Baseball Biz on Deck with Facebook.